What's up, everybody? It's your boy Frill Shocker, the 96 Hedgehog here with our RGBL SemiFinals team builder here. We are going against Coach Chris and his Hannibal Hoot Hoots. Last time we faced Chris, we dominated him, and that was, well, not really, but we planned around him. But that was the game where Zero Aura literally popped off and got 6 kills single-handedly. There was a little bit of chip from some things, but it was mostly Zera. Or definitely Chris made some few plays that were questionable versus him. I think him sacking his clef was a mistake and stuff like that. So, and definitely the stuff that he did not bring, he should have brought versus me, which I definitely expect him to capitalize on this time. But if you guys are excited, leave a like if you haven't already. Subscribe if you are new. Join the Shocker crew today because you'd be feeling with the king of the crew. And with that being said, let's break down this rematch and the semifinals matchup going into the end. So looking at Chris's team, I'm pretty sure he didn't change anything on his team, but let's, like I always do in rematches, whether it's quarterfinals, semifinals, or anything like that, let's break down. And I can't control my cat in the background, guys. Sorry. But anyways, so we are gonna break down here. So last time he brought Tapu Bulu, which was definitely a smart bring on his end to stop, the ground spam on my team. But he had Nature's Madness and Horn Leech as his two moves, and he was leftover. So I would assume from the last calc, I think he was somewhere around max HP, like maybe max attack, something like that. Excuse me. I'm gonna say he had Horn Leash. He could have had some other things. He could have potentially also had high horsepower, which was definitely something I could have saw him bring on in this as well. But again, this thing just dropped to my Zera beforehand, so we didn't get to see much of it. So I do think Bulu has a good chance to come back. And as the other moves for Bulu, I don't know. He had Gallade, which was definitely a big ring over there, but bringing dual stab plus Swords Dance. The last move, I don't know what could have been. It could maybe have been Ice Punch. It could have maybe been Drain Punch. It could have maybe, well, if he had close combat, I highly doubt he had another fighting type move, but who knows? Maybe he did or not. Tornadus, we didn't need to do anything. He only showed off Hurricane, so he could have either had been Boots or he was potentially Assault Vested. We don't know. He may or may not have had probably knockoff on that set too. Again, and we don't even know if he could have been Nasty Plot or not. So I don't know because again, Torn got put to sleep thankfully by Venusaur, which was really good. So a lot of things to kind of factor in and kind of think about, Whew, excuse me. With that factor, he brought Clefable. He brought Unaware Clefable versus Magic Guard Clefable, which I think was a little bit of a smart, was both smart and weird on his end. It was smart because yeah, it would stop my bulk upset, which was definitely the main way he can not break me. But it did cause him to take Sandstorm chip damage when he needed. Well, I mean, Leftovers mitigated it, but still, if it was toxic or something like that, it would have been able to. Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry, guys. It's really early in the morning. Well, early for me. But anyways, this Clefable definitely was like a defensive set, pretty much like Max with the teleport strat, which tells me that he didn't have Protect that time, or he may could have had. We never know, but he probably had Fire Blast or Flamethrower as his other move, or maybe Toxic, one of those two, either the Fire move, Toxic, or potentially Protect. But I do expect the same Clefable set to come against us. I do think that's a really good bring. I'm also expecting kind of like the same set for Bulu, same set for Gallade, and if Torrent comes, I would definitely expect the same set again. Arcanine again is another one of those Pokemon we didn't get to see too much damage come from. He did bring Flare Blitz and he was jolly. He did confirm the damage he did to me with a crit. And as for what he was, he could have been Rocky Helmet. He could have maybe been Expert Belt. Maybe he could have been a Berry potentially. I don't know, but I definitely expected him to be Jolly, and he was Jolly in that matchup. So I think because Jolly fit really good for him. So there's that. Empoleon, he didn't get to see the light of day because even with I think one or two minus attack drops on my Zero Aura, it's still 2 AO to this Empoleon. Empoleon revealed to be leftover, so I'm actually kind of surprised it's not Wakan or Shukaberry, because I think that would have been a smarter bring. And if he does bring Empoleon back, I do accept a Wakan or Shukaberry bring on this, more so the Shukaberry bring. Excuse me. And the reason why I say Shukaberry is just because Shukaberry is really, really good in that type of sense where I have a ground type here in front of a water type, and I can be faster than it and kill it with a ground type move. Chuckaberry likes to live the hit, and then he can go ahead and not be able to be affected by that. So if Apollyon does come, it definitely is going to be his defogger and relatively defensive pivot in this matchup. So definitely something to kind of note with that. So looking back at his team and now looking into the matchup, I still don't think he's bringing Feeble and Koala. Those things are never coming. Looking back at the matchup now, I don't think he's going to bring Ariados, and the main reason I say he's not going to bring Ariados is for the fact that Ariados, it loses his sash immediately in sand, so it's like no point of keeping it around unless it can keep its sash intact the whole game at some point, and that I don't know, okay, but Apollyon this time, I could see him not bringing it because there are two moments that he really should have brought versus me that really counter my team well in that type of situation. But Napoleon I could still see potentially being brought if he maybe could run Shuckaberry instead of leftovers. Who knows? And then Arcanine is definitely something I could see him bring back because Arcanine outspeeds a good portion of my team outside of the sand aspect of things and definitely could be a major problem versus my team. If I let it, I do expect it to be intimidated as well. Again, if it does come, so definitely something to kind of note and prepare for with that. But looking at his team, I think the four he brought last time are coming back, being Tapu Bulu, Mega Galay, Clefable, and Torn. I think all four of those are going to bring the same set as he had last time. This time, I definitely expect him to bring Zygarde Eel. Now, the reason why Zygarde is because, for one, he just loses to Zero Or again if he does not have that Eel. If he does not have the Zygarde. And two, he needs to bring Eel because of my Sand Core. My Sand Core, in being partial to my two ground types, he needs that in order to stop the ground spin. Ground spin with his team. I don't think he's going to run Assault Vest in this matchup. I do expect him maybe running something like Expert Belt or Leftovers for somewhat max HP, slightly defensive set, but I can see him like max HP, max modest like Assault Vest sets do. But it's definitely something to note, and I think Eel's 100% I could bring. Otherwise, again, my Excadrill can just freely kill everything in sand. There's like no stopping me from really doing so. But yeah, that's the team. Let's go ahead and break down the matchup and bring out the people we are bringing this week. We are bringing 5 of the same 6 Pokemon back this week, and the reason why we're bringing the same 5 because those 5 just had the best matchup. We did change up, I think, the move sets. I don't really remember the sets we did it first. Excuse me. I don't remember what we brought the first time around, but yeah. Or first off, this is the only time I've ever done this. I'm bringing the exact same set on one Pokemon, and that one Pokemon is Zeraora. And the reason why is because this set's just too good, dude. It's just too good to pass up to bring against his team, just because it fits so well. We're running that same set with Bulk Up 3 attack speed, Blaze Kick, Play Rough, and Plasma Fist, just because, again, it hits everything on his team for super effective neutral damage, and plus he cannot do anything once I get to +1. Once I get to +1 with my Shuckaberry, his Zygarde does not do anything, and plus, we are running enough speed to outspeed Zygarde, so if Zygarde is indeed Choice Scarfed, Zygarde will definitely confirm it with me, and if it's not, then unless he Sash or something like that, then there's no way he lives a +1 hit from me, unless I miss. Which we've all seen how my luck in playoffs has been sometimes, except for DJ. DJ, we just had good matchup and just capable of it. You know our past luck. Up next, we're bringing back Mama. She's bringing back that sand this time, but this time we went leftovers last time. This time we're bringing Sandstream with Smooth Rock this time. Just because I looked back at it, Sand could have really just popped off against him and just really would have just murdered his team if I had gone Sand back up there. So I'm going to run Sand up this time around just to make it more easier on myself. We are running Toxic, Slack Off, High Horsepower, and Rock Slide. Toxics are really just there for Eel, if I'm going to be completely honest with you, and Rock Slide's really there just for the Torrent. Otherwise, I'm just spamming High Horsepower against this team, running 172 in HP, 12 in the attack, 132 defense, and 182 Spadev. Now, the reason why I'm running a really good chunk of Spadev is I want to be able to take a good hit from Eel and either Toxic it or take the hit, Slack Off, recover, and let him just get chipped. And that's one thing also good with bringing Sandstorm in these matchups is I can see if anyone's got leftovers on their team. Except when Bulu comes in, they get leftovers recover regardless. But if they get an extra choice of leftovers, you can see that too. But that's the one thing I love about Sand too. Sand just being able to break any sashes and stuff like that without having to do much. It's really, really good. But yeah, I'm really, really hoping Big Mama brings this home to bacon right there. But yeah, we have won technically a championship with Gigalith. We haven't won it with Big Mama. And I feel like it would be more appropriate with Big Mama if we could do it. I'm just bringing Driller, our extra drill again this week, and we're bringing pretty much a max adamant set with just 16 HP, just with that Life Orb chip, plus the forward spit def for a little bit, tiny spit def investment. Basically, this set outspeeds everything under Scarf, unless for some reason he has a +2 freaking Gallade. Or if he gets +2 on Dragon Dance with his Zygarde, then there's that, but I highly doubt there's any chance in the world he gets +2. If I'm going to be completely honest, and if he gets +2, it doesn't shut down a lot of my team. I can still beat him 100% 1v1. Because he's got extreme speed at the back, so who knows. But basically, at Sword Dance, Life Orb set basically shuts his team down. Now, I have really done the expensive calcing of doing everything I possibly can. But Ironhead High Horsepower, that's being a bride no matter what. I had a thing of what move can hit Electra strong enough to where I would be confident enough to bring it. And that move was X Scissor. Now, X Scissor really has no good purpose against his team at all, really, if you really look at it. But it's really good against Electros, and I can show you guys why this calc. So we are here at +2. Let us look at Electros here. And let's say it's a max HP Electros set, right? At +2 with X Scissor, we do 82 to 97%. So depending if he's not leftovers and he's assault vested, if he technically takes one ship of Sandstorm damage, he's technically in range of X Scissor. If he takes 2 rounds of Sandstorm damage before I bring in my Excadrill and I get the +2 off, and he doesn't burn me with Flamethrower or hurts me that much with either knockoff or anything like hurts me too much, and I get the +2 off, I can kill him with X Scissor with the range depending he's at. And that would be massive because if I get rid of Eel, I can spam Iron Head freely. I can spam high horsepower. And that's the one thing he has to be very, very careful about. Is if I get a +2 off with Sword Dance, I don't need Exorcist. And if I can get to the chance to Iron Head kill him, or Iron Head to 2 KO and get the flinch potentially, that's something he has to be very careful. Because what I can do then is use Flamethrower instead of Drain Punch. I Iron Head into X Scissor and then kill him that way. So that's really, really good right there. And I think Exegol literally can just win us the game if we position him correctly. So definitely some major thing there. There obviously would be some potential forces right there, like if it's Gallade that kills Mama as Mama sets up like 1 or 2 Sandstorms and we die. I bring this thing in. I am technically forced to kill the Gallade, but if I get rid of Gallade and Mama gets with Mama and then he brings in that and I can be able to do some other things, bring this thing in and it's in range of a Life Orb without the +2 it can kill, and if not, I just go for the +2, hopefully don't get burned or critted, and then I go for there to go for the kill. So honestly, Extra is potentially the win con here, and is very, very important for us in this matchup. But one of the main ways I look at myself breaking and could also win the matchup with is Choice Banded Stalin. He has no switch-ins to normal type moves except for his Empoleon, and I might change Thunderwave. Now, the reason why I have Thunderwave on here is Thunderwave is really good for paralyzing some things on his team, but now thinking about it, I don't think I really need Thunderwave. So I think I'll get rid of that. And I think I am going to put Superpower on this set. Just to make sure we can get rid of the Empoleon if I have to, but basically I'm just spamming my normal type attacks. Ice Fang's there in case I want to 2-8 KO or try to beat down some other things on his team. Otherwise, I just spam Facade and Strength. Strength, without any HP investment, does on Zygarde 10, it guaranteed knocks it out. But I have Ice Fang, there's an insurance policy to make sure we kill it. And plus, if it's a Yachi Berry set, I want to break that Yachi Berry, which is very, very important for me to do as well. Now, this has a very specific speed creep here. Now, obviously, if Zygarde's going to be if Zygarde comes versus me, I expect to Scarf Zygarde, correct? I have it specific. I have this speed specifically to EV to be faster than Zygarde, which is faster than a Choice Scarf Delphox on my team, than a max speed Zygarde. Because this can also let me be faster than Zygarde, understand if he's only spec crept to be faster than my Delphox, which I think he has to do as a safety precaution, because if he doesn't, Delphox comes in, and Delphox being specs can just being Scarf. outspeeds his Scarf and then could just really cause a massive problem versus him. Because then I can just know specifically like what EV speed creep I need to go for, and I can be fine right there in that type of situation. But yeah, we are specifically EV to outspeed H choice Scarf, +1 in the speed point of a Delphox with Stoutland here, which is exactly what we need to be faster than Zygarde. So I think this is a really great idea on us. We are going to be able to run Adamant, which is good in this matchup because now I can just smack everything up. Again, if I don't see Empoleon and I see this thing in, I'm dropping this thing in and I am just clicking Strength until the sand goes away because there's nothing that stops him from this. Now, obviously, if I have this, I have to be very careful of Empoleon coming in, where I would have to be careful clicking Superpower or clicking Facade or something like that. So definitely know right there. We're bringing Harry this week. The reason why I took Komodo off the bench is that Komodo's matchup's not again. Komodo's matchup's not too terrible in this fight. Yes, he has 3 models that really shut me down, mostly 2 because of outspeed and everything like that. But I felt like looking at this now with having Harry now having a fire type on our team because I don't think we had a fire type originally. This is something that's so good to bring this week because you look at his team, he has nothing for a psychic switch in besides Empoleon. And you look at the theme right here that Empoleon is a one little piece that's annoying versus my team, but it's not necessarily. Now looking at my team, fire coverage just goes bird. Like there's nothing that stops me. But obviously the Arcanine's a little bit of a problematic. So if Arcanine comes, it's definitely an issue. But if Arcanine doesn't come and we don't see Empoleon, I am leading this thing, and I am basically to decide whether I want to kill something with a fire move or I want to kill something with a psychic move. Basically, is the analogy behind that. So definitely something that's really good and forces him definitely to be very careful on his lead because if he gets lead matchup wrong, I get a free kill. I feel like, or I can just cripple something with Trick because I do have Trick on there in case I do want to get rid of my specs because I'm still gonna be modest in that type of sense of the god. So definitely something to just kind of note right there. And last but not least, we are bringing one of the most broken megas to use, and it has been one of a fun favorite to use. It is Groot, our Mega Venusaur. We're in Synthesis, Sleep Power, and Giga Drain and Sludge Bomb. Now, I could run Leech Seed, which would be better because, Clef's not. I don't know if Magic Guard even affects this by Clef or not, but basically, I could run Leech Seed and just spam that thing. Literally just spam it and get recovery back. But the more I looked at it, the more I just wanted dual stab. Leech Seed's good, don't get me wrong. Like, Leech Seed's really, really good here. But again, he can just make the switches that he needs to do. And plus, with having Simp. Actually, thinking about it, since I'm going to have a full on Sand team going into this matchup, I maybe should have some other ways. So, I think actually, now thinking about it, I think we will. Now, I've been showing that I do run Substitute on my Mega Venusaurs, which actually has been really, really clutch in a few games. I think we ran that week 1. We got like the 3 kills or 4 kills with Mega Venusaur because of that. It was really good against him last time as well because we were able to really weaken down his Gallade after even with the wishes before that Gallade could have just died. Which is something to note right there as well. I just really felt like not running substitute was okay because I want him to be tricked into thinking I have substitute. Now he can obviously still click taunt against me, right? He could easily click taunt against me in that type of a sense, but I still don't kind of care, and I can still smack something. My dual stab really is really good in this game because he doesn't have a really good. I mean, he has reliable switching, but again, if I get the predictions right and the switchings get poisoned or anything like that, then they're not going to be doing so well for him. But yeah, that's gonna be our team, guys. I'm really just excited we made the playoffs again, back-to-back seasons, and we made it in. Technically, we did make it into last seed or in 7th seed last 2 seasons of this season and last season. But in fairness, I let that happen because I just want to take a break from the league and just take a little break from battling. Also, I didn't actually talk about our defense investments. We have max HP, 236 defense, and 20 SPDF. We're more physically defensive than specially defensive, just so we can be able to take on the Zygarde better. So, anyways, that is gonna be the team, guys. Again, win or lose, I'm happy we made semifinals. I'm hoping we can make back-to-back finals this season, just because I would really want to win that championship that should have technically been mine versus what couldn't have happened. But yeah, Thank you all so much for watching. Leave a like if you're ready. Subscribe if you are new. And if I first want to say to the one or two people that have been consistently watching my videos as they go up, thank you so much. That support really does go a long way, and I'm really happy that I'm providing you some amazing content for you guys to watch. So thank you again. But until next time, everybody, I'm Phil Shocker, and I'll see you guys in the semifinals. Peace.